Okay, I want you to picture this for a second. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, you roll over, grab your phone, and you realize something absolutely incredible. Every single bill you're going to pay this month, it's already covered. And the kicker is, you haven't worked a single hour to make it happen. No boss breathing down your neck, no endless Zoom meetings, no stressful deadlines, just your investments quietly humming in the background, generating enough cash to completely replace your paycheck. Now, for a lot of folks, that sounds literally impossible, right? Like a total pipe dream. See, we've all been traditionally taught that replacing a salary requires this massive, multi-million dollar portfolio. You constantly hear targets of 2 million, 3 million, maybe even $5 million. But what if that's not actually true? In this explainer, we're zeroing in on a surprisingly attainable number, $750,000. What if a portfolio of exactly that size could actually replace a salary? Well, at least for some people. And that is exactly what we're going to figure out today. We are going to completely break down the math, dive into the fascinating psychology behind how we spend, and, take a hard, honest look at the real risks involved here. We're going to see if this specific amount can truly buy your financial freedom, or if it's just another one of those retirement fantasies that looks super pretty on a spreadsheet, but completely fails in the real world. Let's look at what the numbers actually say. All right, let's jump straight into section 1, the salary illusion. So, the very first paradigm shift we need to make together is realizing that your gross salary, that is not actually the amount you need to replace. Let's say you earn 100 grand. Well, by the time Uncle Sam takes taxes and you pay for your retirement contributions and health insurance, your actual take-home pay is way lower. Then, tack on the hidden costs of just having a job. Gas, parking, dry cleaning, and those incredibly overpriced, sad daily desk lunches. By the time all that is deducted, your actual day-to-day spending is far, far less than what it says at the top of your pay stub. And this brings us to a huge light bulb moment. Financial freedom has actually never been based on your gross paycheck. Financial independence isn't about replacing your income at all. It's about replacing your lifestyle. And those are two totally different numbers, right? Truly understanding that gap is your very first step toward actually being free. Moving right along to section 2, the math behind $750,000. Let's crunch some actual numbers here. Say you drop $750,000 into a historically diversified portfolio. Historically speaking, a balanced portfolio often generates anywhere from 4 to 6% annually over the long haul. So, if we look at a conservative 4% withdrawal rate, you're looking at producing $30,000 a year. Bump that to 5%, it's roughly $37,500, and at 6%, you're knocking on the door of $45,000 annually. Now pause for a second and think about where you live. If you're in a low-cost town, you don't have a lot of debt, and maybe your home is paid off, that 30 to 45 grand could easily cover pretty much every single living expense you have. Which leads us perfectly into section 3, beating lifestyle inflation. Now, I hear some of you already. You're saying, hey, I live in San Francisco or New York, $45,000 won't even cover my rent. And you're absolutely right. Geography and your daily habits are huge here. And this brings us to the ultimate trap. It's called lifestyle inflation. It's this mistake of spending years and years just trying to earn more money instead of figuring out how to actually need less. It's when every single raise you get just creates a brand new, expensive expectation. You get a promotion? Suddenly you need a larger house, a luxury SUV, more streaming subscriptions, fancier restaurants, bigger vacations. Your paycheck grows, sure, but your expectations grow right alongside it. This is the silent killer that quietly delays your financial freedom for decades. Just look at how powerful lifestyle choices are compared to pure income. Check this out. On the left, we've got person A, earning 80 grand a year. They live pretty modestly and they invest aggressively. On the right, person B is pulling in a massive $220,000 salary. But man, they spend almost every single dollar maintaining this super luxurious lifestyle. So who reaches financial independence first? Actually, it could very easily be person A. It's wild, right? It proves that wealth isn't determined by your income level. It's determined entirely by the gap between what you earn and what you spend. Okay, let's get into section 4, building your income machine. I want you to change how you view investing. Instead of just seeing random digits bouncing around on a screen, think of your portfolio as a literal, physical machine that you are building piece by piece over time. In the beginning, the engine of this machine barely moves. The dividends are tiny, market gains feel painfully slow. But every time you add to it, the engine gets a little bit bigger. Eventually, this machine starts churning out real, meaningful cash that automatically pays for things. First, maybe those dividends just cover your monthly grocery bill. Cool. But as it compounds, it scales up. Next, it's covering your utilities. Then maybe your index funds are throwing off enough to pay your entire mortgage. And eventually, it takes over your entire lifestyle. That right there? That's the exact moment money stops being a thing you work for and it officially starts working for you. But hey, we've got to keep it real. Section 5, the reality of risks. As much as we all absolutely love geeking out over the math of compounding interest, we need a reality check here. Relying on just one single source of investment income to fund the rest of your life on Earth, that can be incredibly dangerous. Markets simply do not go straight up forever. Some years, your portfolio is going to take a 20% hit, or honestly, even worse, all while inflation is quietly jacking up the cost of your groceries and gas. Not to mention, healthcare gets way more expensive as we age. And life just happens, right? Unexpected emergencies pop up, you suddenly need a new roof, or there's a surprise medical bill, or you have to help out a family member. All these things can instantly put immense, terrifying pressure on a retirement portfolio. So the takeaway here is that true financial resilience requires actual diversification. If you want to be less vulnerable, you need to build multiple streams of income. We're talking about holding a solid mix of stocks and bonds, keeping a really healthy cash emergency fund, and maybe getting into real estate. But it also means looking outside of just passive investments. Think about picking up some part-time consulting or freelancing, or even launching a small online side business. Financial freedom isn't just about hoarding enough cash in an account, it's about having multiple, resilient ways to keep money flowing into your life, no matter what the broader stock market decides to do that day. Let's wrap this whole thing up in Section 6, the empowering conclusion. So let's go back to our main question. Can $750,000 replace your salary? Well, if you're someone who spends 35 or 40 grand a year, yeah, possibly. If you're dropping $120,000 annually, almost certainly not. But the real lesson of this whole explainer goes way deeper than a single target number. It's simply this: the less money your lifestyle requires, the less wealth you actually need to support it. Financial freedom has never been defined by your income. It is defined entirely by your expenses. And frankly, I find that incredibly empowering. Because look, you can't always control your exact salary. Layoffs happen out of nowhere. Entire industries shift. The economy does weird things. But your spending? You have complete, total, absolute control over that. Every single dollar you consciously choose not to spend today isn't just money saved in a piggy bank. It transforms into an active employee. And that little employee is clocking in every single day, compounding, working tirelessly for your future freedom. So, before you burn yourself out chasing that next big raise at work, I want you to stop and ask yourself a totally different question. How much does your lifestyle truly cost? Get in there and look at the hard numbers, because the amount that actually replaces your salary might be way smaller, or hey, maybe way larger than you've always assumed. So I'm going to leave you with this one thought. If you had a $750,000 investment portfolio sitting in your account today, like right this second, would you feel comfortable leaving your job, or would you keep grinding away anyway? Think about what your answer says about your lifestyle right now, and start building that financial machine today.